Today's topic is about all children can be able to learn. All children can be able to learn despite of their disabilities and the challenges that they're facing. So we'll be teaching on this platform on how is it that we get to assist children so that they can be able to learn. The first step in assisting children to learn is to expose them to the environment of learning. Learners need to have a situation where they are exposed to reading, whether it's mother tongue or whether it's normal reading. Once they're exposed to proper reading with the proper guidance and assistance, it will be able to assist them to make sure that they understand the vocabulary and pronunciation of words, which will make it much more simpler for the learners to be able to learn. The reason why learners are not able to learn is because they are not familiarized with those particular contexts that they are reading about. For example, if you're teaching learners English and they cannot speak English, it's because learners are not familiar with English texts. They are familiar with other language texts, so it's important that learners must be taught in a manner that is profound and in a manner that is unique. Now, what is this manner that is profound and unique which we're talking about? We're talking about learners who cannot even pronounce words, so we need to do what we call remedial lessons. Remedial lessons is a process or a method where all teachers or tutors are going to give learners an opportunity to read. You prescribe certain tasks for the learners to read. Number one, you assist the learners in pronunciation of words. You also assist the learners so that they can be able to understand and interpret what is it that they see. Also, bear in mind that you need to also apply what we call understanding of abnormal behavior. This is where you get to determine through the tasks that you give to the learners that are the learners understanding what is it that they see, which we call visual learning. Are they able to distinguish between the right thing and the wrong thing, between a yellow color and a green color, or a white color or a blue color? So if learners are able to distinguish, then you know that you've got that type of writing skill that you're also sharpening as well to make sure that they understand the contents of reading. Now, a lot of mistakes which a lot of teachers are doing is that they don't have time to give attention to the learners reading. When learners are reading certain texts, it's important that they need to do a follow-up. What is it that you are reading about? Do you understand what you are reading? And what is the message or what is the lesson that you are learning from that particular text that you are reading? That is something that is going to assist your learners so they can be able to learn. Number 3, another point is that they also have to familiarize themselves with words. So you can start with the basics from A, E, O, U, I, and then you can write the word, for example, water. Then you must break it into pieces. Water, you can say, teach them, is W-A-T-E-R. So they're able to spell it in the air, then they have a vision of water. You can even say people. So water. It's P-E-O-P-L-E. So when you underline it, it's people. So it's important that you need to give learners an opportunity to experiment with the words. Then that way it's going to make their job much more simpler. Exposing children to books in the libraries. Teachers must be able to expose children to the libraries. Children must go to the libraries, go to the kiddie section and find books. You can even talk to the nearest librarian so they can arrange books for you, which are going to assist the learners so that they can be able to read. So learners will be able to read and pronounce words, but you must understand this is an exercise that is not going to be an overnight sensation. It's something that is going to take time, so a bit of patience is required. So the learners are going to read stories. So you start with simple stories, perhaps Cinderella or Pinocchio or something very simple. Not that you are able to give them texts that are going to frustrate them. So you start with them baby steps, and as they go baby steps in reading, then they'll be able to come up to that point or level where you want them to be prominent men and women. Expose children to readathon competitions. Children must be able to undergo readathon competitions, read and do spelling bees, because that is something that is very good. If kids or learners don't do what we call spelling bee, then they have a problem of no pronunciation of words, because there's going to be a bit of competition between what this learner is saying. For example, if we have a learner from X school competing with the learner from W school. So X school, because it's an English medium, they'll be able to pronounce the words better. But X school, because they are a township school, they might struggle to pronounce the words better. But it's important that you need to give learners enough time to study those words so they can be able to count them. The last interesting point, the master of all points, is to write a word on the chalkboard or on a blackboard or whiteboard, and then let the learners observe it for 15 minutes. Then from there, close it and then let them try to write without seeing it. That is a method that I used to be exposed to by my teacher, Mrs. J.C. Skuman. And today it is something that has helped me to grasp so that learners can be able to cram and be able to put everything as it is on the table. So, strategic type of learning, all children can learn despite of their disabilities, despite of whatever. You just have to come up with a method on how is it that you have to have a strategy on how is it that you are able to put the learners so that they can be able to understand. And another teacher said to me, you can also write words on the board and let the learners copy, or you can have a book or a scribbler book where you write perhaps a paragraph or a story and let the learner try and copy that. That is something that is going to also sharpen their writing skills or handwriting. Then that way you know that you don't have a problem. Everything is the way it is so that you can become prominent in your endeavor.